Hello and welcome to the second round of the Mercedes-Benz UCI Cross Country World Cup here in beautiful Nové Město in the Czech Republic. I'm with Anton Cooper.
Hey.
And we're about to go and do a lap of the track in what has to be said are some pretty miserable conditions.
Yeah, you're right about that. It's pretty cold, isn't it?
Should be a lot of fun.
Should be. Yeah.
So this is a big long drag then, and you guys are pinning it from the gun, aren't you, really?
Yeah, it is. It's actually one of those start loops where it's almost just as good to be starting second row.
Is it?
In front row, yeah. It's a funny one because front row you're always trying to defend that position through the start, which is quite a long, wide drag. Second row it seems you just kind of get a wheel and slingshot around someone and get away laughing, but either or.
So is this, I mean you had second place here last year. Is this one of your favourite World Cup tracks that we go to?
Yeah, it probably is my favourite World Cup track of the year. I've had great memories in the past here. My first World Cup, you know, was here, and I also won that first World Cup. Last year was, yeah, a super close race and super close to winning it. So that's also a good memory. But hey, it also has been some years where it hasn't been that kind to me, so. It's
a tough old track, isn't it? There's lots of places where you can lose a lot of time.
Yeah, for sure there is. Like, you could have a disaster on this track, you know. But it actually like rewards you really well when you're feeling good.
Yeah.
And the atmosphere is pretty electric in here.
It always amazes me because, I mean, we come here at the start of the week and set up, and it really is, if it's not the middle of nowhere, it's quite close to it.
Yeah.
And then come race day on Sunday in the XCO, the crowds are unbelievable.
Yeah, they kind of, all the people just appear in the woods. I don't know where they come from, but
they must bust them in from somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh, they're slick enough, those routes.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely in the rain here, these routes can be really slick. And there's quite a few routes that seem to run a similar direction to what you're travelling, which are the ones that really catch you out.
Now, if you're new to Nové Město as a racetrack, this is very much the theme, isn't it? Little punches everywhere.
Yeah, so there's a bunch of kind of steep, niggly climbs. They're taped fairly wide.
Yeah.
And they're just littered with roots. So, yeah, there is passing opportunity on the climb, and you have to pick your lines quite right.
And this moisture not adding to the grip levels one bit. I remember this next bit being tricky.
Yeah, so we cross the road and head up a kind of uphill rock garden.
An uphill rock garden.
It's going to be tricky today in the wet, but quite cool to see. We still have technical climbing sections.
Oh, there's people here as well, that's good. Now,
man.
All right, Anton's dropped me there, but that's a little personal achievement. I never made that up that last year.
There's a couple of line choices through there as well.
That wider line looked a lot quicker.
Yeah, it's often a section where gaps are made, even brought back. If you have to get off and run, that kind of really screws your legs, and that opens a gap to someone else. So.
Yeah. So this is the rock garden.
It is, yeah.
I'm following you through this, man.
Yeah.
I say that optimistically, I'm going to attempt to.
There's a few different lines, but I think if you follow my one down here, I think you'll survive it.
Survive it? I have to say, from a rider's point of view. Oh,
Good to see you still in one piece.
thanks, Anton. That was though, I mean you've options there as well, but that felt very much like the line.
Yeah, and I think it typically is for the top guys that seems to narrow down to that one line, or there is a slight variation to it, but yeah, there's the B line as well, which sticks to the hard right. But you have to enter the B line quite early on.
Do you think you lose a lot of time in the B line?
And there is a left as well, but it doesn't seem to be the popular choice.
Oh, I remember this.
This is kind of like the feature climb of the race. This is where all the crowd is. And if you're ever in and around a Czech rider, especially during this climb, you're in for a real treat, because there's chainsaws and bells and yelling. It's crazy, but shit, it really lifts you.
This is where Yaroslav Kulhavy attacked a couple of years ago as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that was like 2015, eh?
Oh, that's the heart rate max anyway.
Rider.
Rider.
Hey.
Whew.
So you kind of think the climb's over there, but
Something big
actually
up
I think the hardest part is this next kind of pinch, just trying to get yourself back up to speed.
there. Yeah. Is there, in terms of all those lines, is there a lot to remember at this track? Perhaps more than say something like Albstadt.
Yeah, Albstadt there was one line pretty much for everyone, I would say.
Yeah.
And while in the rain it's slippery and it becomes a bit harder in places, here there's a lot of line choice, which makes it really unique, really special. But you have like this line choice, but you also have passing opportunities, which is really cool. So yeah, this bit across here is a bit of a grunt just to kind of get your speed back, and you're tempted to ease up and take a breather, but in reality you just got to keep pushing on.
Yeah.
And this is a section that catches a few people out.
Oh. Yeah. Again, Anton's got the lines down here.
And here's another vertical drop.
A vertical drop.
Yeah.
Woo. Got that all wrong in the exit of that. I'm just looking for the path of least resistance here. Hammer there, Anton, you dropped your hammer.
Oh yeah.
There we go, guys. Whew. But this is, yeah, I mean, we're not done yet, but it brings me back to that original point that it's actually quite enjoyable to ride this. It's like,
Yeah, you're right, it is. There's always kind of a feature or a section to look forward to, no matter where on the course you are, I'd say.
but how tough is it to stay accurate for all those line choices? whenever your heart rate's maxed?
Yeah, it's tough. But if you're having a good day, it seems easy.
Yeah.
And it's how I felt last year, eh? Like, your legs are good, your mind's clear, you're just kind of doing it easy.
Yeah.
If you're having a hard day, it's a completely different story. So, yeah.
I can imagine it
Tough
being.
game.
I can imagine it being relentless around here if you're having a bad day.
Yeah. I mean, we say it with every course, in every World Cup, but probably couldn't be truer for this one. Feed zone here. It's actually a tough feed zone because you're kind of taking it and you're still climbing.
Yeah.
So you come up and pinch and you're a bit out of breath. And you're trying to take your gel and choking on that and spilling half your water.
Sounds great.
Exactly.
So what would you take up here? Would you take a gel and?
Yeah, so in the race I might take 2 goos. Space kind of, maybe let's say as a 6 lap race, might be lap 2, lap 4 or something like that.
Yeah.
Red Bull, second to last lap, does the treat.
A Red Bull?
Yeah, yeah.
Really?
Flat Red Bull, shake it up a bit, get the bubbles out.
Ah.
Yeah, normally a goo before the race as well. And everyone's different. Some people probably don't take much at all, and other people will charge up on quite a lot.
How far in advance are you? Thanks, guys.
Yep.
How far in advance are you, like, fueling up for the race in terms of what you're eating and drinking? And
So my last main meal would be about 3 hours before, or 3.5 to 3 hours before the start. After that, I would only have food if I was feeling quite hungry, a little snack, and maybe an hour before I'd take some caffeine to try and charge me up a bit.
but you don't drink coffee, do you?
Nah, not a coffee drinker. Don't like that stuff, eh?
You're a madman. I'll be unemployed within 2 weeks without coffee. Ooh. These drops just big enough that I can catch you out. Anton went inside there, interesting. These turns super soft, and then it punches you straight back up this climb. Whew.
So yeah, there's a split here as well, an A and a B.
Oh, I remember this being a toughie.
That's pretty thick and wet at the moment. It's important to have your line right through here.
He's getting away.
Hey.
He's getting away.
Whew.
This is obviously all part of my plan.
Oh, Rick's come off his bike, so we'll wait. Need some more laps.
How far he's got? Oh. Oh. Not much grip, is there?
Nah.
Whew.
There's a couple of line choices here and haven't quite figured out which one's going to be fastest yet, but
What's interesting here is once I stop feeling like I want to puke is that those little climbs, same as that first one off the road, your eye sees what you think is a line and it's not. It's actually over to one side of it. And
yeah, often the corners here, what you think is the line is actually, it squares off the corner way too much, so you find the true line would actually be heading up higher and going over that route, which you wouldn't really expect to open the turn up properly.
But you have to practice that then in case you get bumped onto that line, do you know what I mean? So
yeah, that's true. I not so much practice it, but just be prepared for it. And we do a lot of laps on a course like this.
Oh, okay.
In practice, just to kind of get it dialed. And
how many laps would you do a weekend? Before a race, obviously.
For a race week, if we got here on Tuesday, let's say, I'd probably end up doing maybe around 12, something like that on average.
Okay, so not like Not mad numbers.
No,
no.
not like huge amounts, but
Yeah.
let's say Tuesday I might end up doing like 5, on Wednesday maybe 4, and then I'd have it down the road or something.
Yeah.
And nothing to kind of prep the legs for short track. And then it's changed a bit the dynamic with the short track this year. I might have done more laps in the past, just leading into Sunday's race, whereas now you've kind of got to rest the legs on Thursday to be ready for Friday, and same with Saturday to be ready for Sunday, so you wouldn't do as many laps on those days.
You had a good short track race in Albstadt, didn't you?
Yeah, Albstadt was good. Shame about the cross country there, but yeah.
Well, that was tough conditions, man. That was about as brutal as elite men's races I've seen.
Yeah, typically conditions that I'd enjoy. It's just I don't think my legs turned up all the time, to be honest. That's a bigger issue than the conditions, yeah. Yeah, there's no excuses for that one.
Well, I've got no excuses at all, so let's go.
Alright, so the last main descent to the start finish again, pretty much, so similar to the last year's.
Okay. Oh, I'm in the wrong gear. This higher line. No, going into the hole. Oh, I'll never go into the hole, Rick. Oh. Yeah, there we go, pull them back. Sort of. Not. Oh. These little cross-country bikes, if you're a rider who's used to bigger tyres, more suspension, they are tricky to ride. Fast anyway. Oh. On this bridge, more rocks now, good.
Yeah, this is the famous section.
Famous section. Is that going to be positive? Nope.
Made it. So this section here is a little bit different to last year as well, but quite fun. Heading into a new pump track section.
Now? Pump track?
Yeah.
Oh, no way. Ah, they made the most fun track of the year even funner. Whew. Your lungs will need that pump track, Anton, after.
I know, it's
5 or 6
kind of a
laps.
nice respite from all the roots and bumps, isn't it?
Ah, but you're on the hardtail, man.
So
You've got the...
Yeah, so then the course drops out of there and heads right now. We used to head a bit further along through the tech feed,
Yeah.
and then hook a right, but this year we're coming straight into here.
So we dump it back down now into the start
So
finish.
the course will probably be a little bit shorter. They've also dropped the very first little climb. We used to head up and then veer right.
Yeah.
Now we just go right for the start loop. So yeah, a few
It feels
changes.
tighter. Feels like a tighter lap now.
Yeah, I'd say it probably is. I don't know if it means we're going to do an extra lap or whether, yeah, maybe it does. Maybe they'll
Would you
assess.
rather, you personally, would you rather go for more distance? Would you rather go for that extra lap or?
I guess I would, because typically in races I come stronger towards the end.
Yeah.
So if I think about it like that, maybe another lap I might move up a few more positions, and generally, you know. But yeah, hard to say. Every race is different. Some races you wish it was over after 2 laps, and other races you wish it went for 10.
Is it frustrating like that as a sport? Because, I mean, just watching from the sidelines, you can have a rider who's right at the sharp end one week and then really struggling with his legs the next week. It's a difficult one to wrap your head around.
Yeah, it is, and sometimes it feels like you climb the ladder and you get to the top and then you just fall off the edge of the cliff, you know, one week between the other. And I don't know, sometimes, you know, I spend my whole life trying to figure out why one week was better than the other week.
Yeah.
And maybe it's experience, you know, why the older guys seem to be more consistent, but I'd rather figure it out sooner rather than later, eh? And but there's riders that, you know, you look at Nino, Van der Poel, they're super consistent always, and I don't know what their secret is, but you know, everyone's trying to figure it out.
Yeah, definitely. Right, let's get this over with. You don't have a coffee waiting, but I do, so. What about tea? Would you have a cup of tea?
Nah, not really. Oh, that's it.
Whoa! On the anchors there. Now, Anton lost in the sprint here last year. I know he's weak. We've got a tactic. Lock the suspension out.
And you roll into the stadium, ready for the big sprint.
Yeah, well. Have you seen them having the camera up there this year?
No. Oh, you got me. Sorry, mate. That was a good try.
Oh, I've been planning that for days. Oh, Anton.
Hey.
Cheers, man. There we have it. We don't get killed by this tractor. Racing live. Short track Red Bull TV Friday night, and the XCO on Sunday. Oh.